it's Izzy and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a video that I wanted to do for a while, but I just thought I wasn't the best person to do it. So I held off, but we're going to be doing it today. So today I have asked for all of your questions regarding boys. I've been thinking about and any advice that you want me to give. Now, before we start this off, I've literally never had a boyfriend and I'm 16, so that's why I don't think I'm the best person at this video. But I have loads and loads of friends that have had relationships, so I'm the single friend that has the best advice. Personally, I think so anyway. So I'm going to be giving you advice on your boy situations, as well as answering a few questions about my love life. I'm scared about this video. I obviously first off want to say, if my advice is to do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, obviously don't. And I'm not being held responsible for breaking anyone's relationship up. Yeah. So yeah, as always, I asked on Instagram for questions or things you wanted advice on, and I got quite a few, which I was quite shocked about because, yeah. Okay, so actually, the first one I wanted to start on was the commonly asked question: do you have a boyfriend? Are you in a relationship? Is it harder to date when you're an amputee? And I was going to say the answer to all of them: yes, no it's not. Yes, it's harder to date when you're an amputee. No, I don't have a boyfriend, and no, I'm not in a relationship. Yeah, it is harder to date as an amputee. I think literally one of the questions literally summarised my point that nobody else gets, because everyone thinks that as a person they're so open to being with someone with a disability, and some people don't think it's a problem and don't think that anybody is actually against it. But actually one of the comments was, is it harder to date? Because I personally don't think I'm up for it or something. It was worded something like that, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, I think I'm not going to go into this too deep now because I could literally talk about this for forever, but I think dating somebody disabled is really not shown in society, it's not presented, and it's not really spoken about, so people get scared about it, especially when you're dealing with 16-year-old boys. They're not very mature, so I've had 16 years experience of this, and just the fact that I haven't had a boyfriend proves that something's wrong. Not that I'm saying that I'm great and everything, but I've literally had people say to me before like, oh, you're really fit, but it puts me off or whatever. So yeah, I do think it's a problem. I do think it's harder, and I think with my age it's really awkward because I think I'm quite mature for my age, and obviously boys are proven to not mature as quickly as girls anyway. Anyway, right, let's go. So this first one's from my dad because he knows me too well. What would you do if you fancied a boy but his trousers were too short? Now this is a massive pet peeve I have. If someone has like cropped trousers but that aren't meant to be cropped, so I love wearing cropped trousers, but if they're like just like half mast and just like short because they're not like the proper size, it really stresses me out. And I know it shouldn't affect me, and it doesn't affect me like in any way other than the fact that it annoys me. So I honestly think if I fancied someone and their trousers were too short, I just don't think I could fancy them, because it's so off-putting to me. I know other girls turn off, so like, oh, if he smells bad. No, if his trousers are too short. So someone's put, I really like a guy in my hometown but my parents don't approve and I'm leaving for college in 2 months. What do I do? Well, I think if your parents don't approve, I've found that it just with a friendship way, if my mum doesn't like someone and I'm friends with them, it always turns out pear-shaped, because my mum can see what I can't see because I'm so fabricated and like, oh my god, they're the best person ever, and I'm assuming the same thing happens with boyfriends. So I think I'd maybe speak to your parents and find out why they don't like him. But obviously if you're leaving in 2 months, do you want to go? It depends how far away you're going, whether you want to go with a boyfriend. And yeah, but I definitely speak to your parents to see what their issue with him is, because if they have an issue with them, I always think mums are always right. Like your parents are always right in situations. They'll always be like, watch out for this, and then like 2 weeks later it'll happen. Next one, do you think not being able to hold hands will be an issue in your relationships? Well, I don't know, because no one wants to hold my hand. So that's good because it's not that. But I don't think it'll be an issue. I think I need to be with the right person that won't be funny about me not being able to do things like that. But yeah, because it's like the same thing with like wedding rings. Like, I want to be able to be with someone that's not arsey, that I'm not going to be able to wear a wedding ring or something like that. So I think if you're with the right person, I don't know why I'm telling you if this is your advice, but I think if I was with the right person, I think it wouldn't really be an issue, because I think there's loads of other ways to connect with another person. It's not just holding hands. Okay, I don't believe someone when they say love me, they love me because of trust issues. How do I get over this? Well, I think you need to learn to trust the person, and if you don't trust the person, I think you need to work out why. Because if you don't trust someone, I really don't think you can love them back. So yeah, if you love them, then I think you've just got to accept that the feeling's mutual. And if you don't accept that, you need to work out why you don't think it's mutual, why you don't think it. And I know it might be like self-esteem issues, but I think you just need to work out, I think you need to learn to love yourself as well. I'm in a relationship at the moment, but how can you tell it's not interested anymore? Well, I think if they're in a relationship, I'm quite a blunt person, and so I think it's important that if you're not feeling the relationship anymore, that you leave it before it gets to the point where you're wanting to go and cheat with other people. I always think it's best to leave and then go and do whatever else you feel like you want to do, because you don't want to be in the relationship anymore. If you think that they don't love you anymore, maybe do something to help you bond back into a relationship again, like go on a nice date or something to try and see if the feelings are still there that were originally. And if they're not, maybe you need to talk to them and find out what's happened, whether it's you, whether it's him, or whether it's just the relationship isn't working anymore. See, I'm like a relationship advice guru. Okay, there's this guy I like, and he says he really likes me but never talks to me and avoids me. I feel you in this situation where you be talking to someone that you know likes you and you kind of like them, and then they just stop talking to you. I think don't overly waste your time being invested in them. I think if someone's not being invested in them, no matter what they say, it's like you can tell someone that you like them, but it's actually your actions that prove it wrong. I mean, obviously I know people are busy, so they might not want to text you back every 5 seconds. Maybe work out why he's not responding or doesn't want to talk to you so often. But yeah, I feel like if people are really invested in you and like you as much as they say they do, then they would be responding and talking to you. So I think maybe just ask, because it might just be something like he's got work, or he's really busy, or he's with his family or something. But I'd just check just in case, because it might just be that he's not, and he's just saying it because. How do you know if your crush is interested in you? If you've got balls, I'd fully just ask. I never did in secondary. Every time I had a crush on someone, I'd just be like, whatever. I think try and talk to them, maybe just in a friendly way at first. I know that's kind of like, don't do it, you get friend zone. But I think it's really good to see if you actually click as friends, because if you click as friends, then it's clear that they like you in some form of way. And then maybe when you're starting to become more friends and familiar with each other, then start trying to take the chat a bit more flirty and see if you get the same response back. Okay, how do you ask someone out but not be cringy? I personally think, instead of being like, will you be my girlfriend, or will you be my boyfriend, or will you go out with me, I think that's where it sort of gets cringy, like especially when you're not asking them to be your girlfriend or boyfriend, you're just wanting to go out. So I think it's just like, oh, do you want to come and get food with me, or like almost put the idea of what you want to do with them in their head. So instead of being like, do you want to go out with me, because then that's like a bit cringy, I'd just be more like, oh, do you want to go to Nando's? And then also if they say no, it's not as awkward, because it's not like you're being fully like declined. Okay, how to get over a boy. I would suggest like have like a day or two where you're like depressed over a situation, because I always think when something really bad happens, you do need to like mourn it for a bit before like moving on. So have like a day or two, sit, watch Netflix, listen to like a breakup playlist or something, then turn yourself around, put a bit of Lizzo on, and just start then thinking like, you can do this, you got this, you're better than that, and just start trying to move on. I wouldn't really suggest going with like straight to a new lad, but if you feel like it, do you. So what should I do if we're in love with lives far away from me? Honestly, I totally am a believer of like that people over the internet and whatever can meet and like fall in love or whatever. Obviously take safety precautions, like make sure you've like FaceTimed them or Snapchatted so you can like check that they're a real person, because obviously you can get like groomed and stuff. But yeah, if you know them a real person and whatever, I definitely think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible. Hopefully it works out for you. And the same one, similar, is do you think long distance could work with like a 2.5 hour drive? Personally, yeah. If you love someone, I don't think there should actually be a problem between distance and whatever. Obviously, with a long distance relationship, you should need to trust people more, because you don't know what they're doing when they're not with you, because you're not with them as much. But I think as long as you've got a trusting relationship, I would almost say I think a long distance relationship probably makes your relationship stronger, because you have the separation from each other. So when you're with each other, you actually really cherish your time together. This boy likes me. The problem is that he's my best friend's ex, and I've just come out of another relationship, but I do really like him. Now, it depends on the term if you're friends, to be honest, because I know me personally, I'd probably never go out with one of my friend's exes, just because it's like a, you know, it's just like a girl thing, me personally. But obviously it depends how you and your friend are. It is super awkward. I'd probably say leave it a bit for you to come out of your relationship a bit more, because I think you obviously don't want to fall out with your friend over it. So yeah, come out of your relationship a little bit more. Maybe start spending time with other people around you and seeing if you do just like that boy, or you've just come out of a relationship and he's the first one you've seen since, and then you're like, oh my god, I love him. So I'd probably wait a little bit, and then if you still feel the same, I'd probably talk to your best friend before you do anything with the boy. How to be patient and wait for the right guy to come. Now, me and my mum were talking about this the other day, because you know me and my mum are open about everything. And even though I've never had a boyfriend, I know what I want in a boy. So even if boys were interested in me, I'd still be super fussy. And yeah, I think it's important that if you haven't had a boyfriend, or you've not got very much guy interest around you, to keep knowing what you want, so you're not going to settle, because just because people, or you've not got thousands of lads throwing themselves at you, I think you should still go out with people that you want, that have the values that you want in a boy and or a girl. But yeah. Should I settle for a boy that isn't cute? Now with this, I'm like half torn, because I'm like, obviously you need to physically fancy someone and be attracted to them, but I am totally a believer that if someone is fit and they open their mouth and it's horrible what comes out, whether it's just not very nice, or they're not very funny, or they're disrespectful, it literally makes a fit lad ugly, I find personally. So I think it can happen the same way as well. I found multiple times just with like fancying guys that I won't fancy them, I will have looked at them before and been like, yeah, whatever, and then I'll have a conversation with them, or I get to know them more, and then they'll start becoming attractive. So I don't think it's settling for someone that's not like your type, because I personally find my type is probably more personality based anyway. So yeah, if they've got a good personality, then it's like, I would say it's fine. How do I know when I actually have feelings for someone? Like, do I just know? I wouldn't know, because I've never experienced that. But I think when everything about that person associates yourself with like good things, happy things, you think of them and it makes you like smile or whatever, and when you're with them and it makes you like, puts you in a good mood after, I definitely think it's someone that you like. Yeah. I'm not usually cool when boyfriends are rude. I feel like you're always going to argue with anybody that you're around too much, whether it's a friend, a boyfriend, or like a family member. So I think just try and chill. I think it's definitely worth discussing the matter, otherwise it's just going to keep happening. But definitely don't discuss it whilst you're like shouting at each other, because it's never going to happen, it's just going to escalate. So yeah, I definitely have a little bit of time to cool off, and then maybe go and discuss calmly with him what the problem was. Someone's asked, do you think it's important to stay a virgin until marriage? Honestly, it depends what you want to do. If that's like with your religion or whatever, or your values, then do it. If it's not, then it's fine. I think it's fine either way, just whatever you feel comfortable doing. Obviously, if you want to wait till marriage, don't do it before marriage, or if you want to just do it whenever, then find the right boy and be safe. Okay, if you cheated on me and managed to hide and apologise, what should I do? I think if someone cheats on you, I'm personally a big believer of why did they cheat on you? I'd fully just ask, although it's probably not going to be a very nice conversation. You need to find out why they did it. I know some people like say that someone cheated on them, but then it actually made them realise how much they like them. but I would say once a cheat, always a cheat. But I definitely think it's worth discussing the situation with them to see why it is. I really hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2, because I feel like I quite like giving advice and stuff for relationships, even if I have zero experience in them myself. But yeah, if you did enjoy, then like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.